Alright, so let's begin. Greetings, and welcome to the first ever episode of The Threatening Perspective, a podcast where light is shed on the truth, the highest value of the universe. We'll talk about different topics derived from your questions, our philosophy, and the hot topics of the masses, if worth addressing, of course. Today, we'll be taking a look at the recently published short film by Gillette. Call me a psychic, but I sense that this turmoil haven't gone over your head. Gillette has jumped on the bandwagon of turning up the megaphone yelling, "Toxic masculinity, no good, no good." They have chosen to reach out to the social justice warriors in hopes of gaining attention and expanding their consumer base. Attention they've gained for sure. More customers. That depends on whether or not the crybabies out there only has it in their mouth or if they're actually boycotting Gillette. In this campaign, Gillette has made a little twist on the slogan, from the best a man can get to the best man can be. Essentially, the message of the short film is that men need to hold other men accountable. Take a stand against toxic masculinity, which in itself is a good thing. But they have failed to get the message through properly, and have ended up selling out with a full-on depiction of men through the eyes of fourth-wave feminism. Men are being demonized and put into a primitive box, with a herd of zombies saying the stupid old phrase, "Boys will be boys." They do, however, make one good point, when they finish it off by saying, "The boys watching today will be the men of tomorrow," which is a clear indication of having to put a good example for our kids. Now, let's get down to the truth. There's a whole lot of crybabies out there moaning about this commercial. Oh boy. I'm sorry to say this, but you are part of the overall problem. This is what you've set up for yourself. Now you have to take the repercussions. This is the culture you've created, the path you have chosen. Correct your mistake. Own and lead yourself to bettering. Fix yourself. Too much time goes by wasted trying to fix others. Change the man in the mirror if you really want to make a difference. Stop caring so much for what others do and start living your own life. This is a commercial, for fuck's sake. What content are you lacking in your life? If you choose to sit there and moan and cry about a commercial on toxic behavior, you guys are crazy if this is the biggest concern of yours. I sincerely hope that the future has something better to offer. And why would you boycott a brand of races over a flop of a political campaign? It's not like they're funding an actual war of life and death. The races are as great as they were before the commercial. I'm so fucking tired of this bullshit. They're only contributing to the cause that you, as a society, have set already. They are playing by your rules, your field, your game. This is on you. So get your balls together, raise up, own your fucking gender, own yourself. Your shaft and your vagina is not all that defines you. Own the future. And stop crying your eyes out with your whoopity-whoop sniffling. Strengthen yourself, cause you haven't even seen the tip of the iceberg. Are you really so insecure to critique on genders? It is upright illogical behavior with all these men crying like little boys. It is the mindset of a loser, a lacquer. Stop being a victim. This is not pointed towards all men, so take back your victim cards and stop the self-pity. There is toxicity all over the place in different forms. Toxic masculinity as well as toxic femininity. Masculinity and femininity is not a problem. But at some point, both can become harmful, poisonous, toxic to the outside world. When a man hits a woman, when a woman makes false assault and rape allegations, when men are taught not to show emotions, and when women are taught that they'll get whatever they want if they are hysterical enough. When men put down other men for not being as primitive as themselves. When women slut and fat shame other females. When men objectify women and do as they will. When women send sexual messages and shames debate. The list goes on and on and on. What I'm trying to tell you is that the masculinity and femininity both got ups and downs. And what we really should be doing is to find the balance between the two. Not only as a society, cooperating as we seek to find mates to reproduce with, but also as individuals. Masculine does not equal man, and feminine does not equal woman. We do all, besides gender, hold percentages of masculinity and femininity. The secret is to find the balance and embrace both spectrums, as it isn't what defines your genitals, but rather so your behavior, your traits, and your grace. Before I say more on this, I would like to put in a few words on gender equality. Equality between the male and female gender. Gender equality is what the first waves of feminism fought for the women of the earth to reach an equal balance to the men of the earth, when it comes to the social system and the individual household. This means that no matter what gender, male or female, you should have the same opportunities and the same rights. You should receive the same paycheck for the same job, and at home there should be no expected roles based on gender. Women can use a hammer and men can use a pan. This is what gender equality used to mean. Today, it is more so a cover-up used by the fourth wave of feminism. The goal is no longer to be equal to men, but to be above them. And here we are met with the toxic femininity. Fighting for a future where females are openly ruling the world. Alright, so let's get back to the balancing of masculinity and femininity. As a species, we are constantly evolving, changing our ways. With this, we are experiencing an ongoing phenomenon, something that I call gender merging. This is the fusion of masculinity and femininity coming into one. It is the realization of women being able to do the same as men, and men being able to do the same as women, as long as true equality is being shown in situations needed. This could be as a soldier, fireman, or policeman. Women shall be welcome as long as they can contribute and live up to the requirements. Be equivalent. This is true equality.
A man shall be allowed to express himself through the arts of cosmetics. If you find anything wrong in this, it is due to your programming. I'm not talking about any blue or red pill. I'm talking about reality. There is no pill for reality. You might blame the media, the banks, Hollywood. Sure, they do play a role, but so do you, your parents, and your grandparents.
It is society as a whole, not just the system driving it, that puts fuel on the fire.
When you tell your little brother to be a man, you are programming him. So I would suggest that you take a deep look at yourself before you put the blame on somebody else.
If you go a little further than 100 years back, women were still not to wear trousers. Today, we see tight jeans all over the place, designed to highlight the behinds of women. Yet, men are still ridiculed when wearing skirts. Women today is accepted to do a man's work and wear a man's clothing. And within 100 years, you will see the same counting for the males. The male gender is now allowing themselves to get creative with makeup. They wear female jackets. They are slender and show emotions. While this balancing of the masculine and feminine energy is taking place, so is the merging. The gender merge is where it all melts together and the branding doesn't play as big of a role. Masculinity and femininity is nothing but two sides of the same coin. Yin and yang. To obtain a high quality of life, balance is key. Love and hate. We all have it. It is just a matter of fact of embracing it and befriending it. So let us intertwine, connect to the very soul. Let us seek truth and be vigilant to the lies. Let us all evolve. Farewell.